It's story time. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Long ago, in a faraway place, there lived a lovely princess named Snow White. Her skin was as white as snow, her hair black as coal, and her red lips as rose. Snow White's stepmother, the queen, was very mean, and she hated anyone who was more beautiful than she was. Inside the castle, the queen had a magic mirror. On the question, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" the mirror had the same reply for years: "You are, my queen." The evil queen treated Snow White like a servant. But Snow White was very kind and never complained about anything. One day, Snow White was singing and drawing water from the well. Charmed by Snow White's singing, a handsome stranger appeared. But Snow White was too shy to speak to him, so she left. As Snow White grew older, she also grew more beautiful, and the queen became very jealous. One day, the magic mirror told the queen that Snow White was the fairest in the land, and so the queen called her royal huntsman. "Take Snow White far into the forest and kill her," she commanded. The huntsman took Snow White deep into the scary woods and said, "Poor Snow White, I cannot kill you. You must run away and hide from the queen for good." Scared for her life, Snow White ran into the dark woods. After running for a long time, she came to a small house. "Who lives here?" Snow White wondered. She was so tired, she fell asleep immediately. In the cottage lived 7 dwarfs. They worked in the diamond mine, and when they got back in the cottage, they saw this beauty lying in their bed. Snow White woke up, and the dwarfs introduced themselves. Their names were Grumpy, Sneezy, Happy, Dog, Bashful, Dopey, and Sleepy. Snow White felt so safe with the dwarfs that she decided to stay with them. Unfortunately, the evil queen found out that Snow White was still alive and decided to take matters into her own wicked hands. The queen went secretly into her chamber and she prepared a poisoned apple. "One bite of this poisoned apple and Snow White will close her eyes forever," she crackled. Disguised as an old peddler woman, she went her way over the hills to the place where the dwarfs lived. The old woman appeared at Snow White's window. "Hello, dearie. Why don't you taste one of my delicious apples? You won't regret it," she said. Then she gave the poisoned apple to Snow White. The birds tried to warn Snow White about the poisoned fruit, but Snow White didn't pay attention to them. Then the animals of the forest went to the dwarfs, trying to tell them something is not right at home. The 7 dwarfs raced to the cottage and found Snow White lying lifeless on the floor. The dwarfs chased the old hag into the forest. A storm began to blow, and the evil woman came to the edge of a steep and rocky cliff. At that moment, lightning struck. The queen lost her balance and fell to her doom. The sad little dwarfs built a bed of gold and glass for their beloved Snow White. They kept watch over her day and night. Then, one day, the handsome stranger who once spoke to Snow White rode into the forest. He was the prince. "How beautiful she is," said the prince with deep sorrow as he was kneeling down towards Snow White. He kissed Snow White tenderly, and then something magical happened. The kiss of a true love awakened her. The prince and the dwarfs were filled with happiness. And that day, my children, was the day when Snow White and her prince rode off to his kingdom, where they lived happily ever after. To support us, please subscribe to Storytime.